Hello everybody, welcome back to another sit down video. I'm very excited. If you don't know me or don't know my YouTube channel, I'm Lauren Renee and I do lifestyle, travel and fashion videos, and this video is all about wrapping up my most recent trip to New Zealand on the Contiki Sweetest South. That was amazing. If you haven't already gone and watched all the videos, go give them a watch and then you can watch this after, or you can watch it before. But yeah, I did 3 videos because I chopped it all up into 3 components because it was a 2-week long trip around New Zealand, around the South Island of New Zealand, doing everything adventure you can imagine. By the way, I'm currently house sitting, that's why I'm not in my normal bedroom, but alas, here we are. And it's also, I'm filming this during my birthday week, so you will technically get this video before my birthday video, but it's all being filmed all at the same time, it's all happening. But this is also a new like sleeveless blazer, so that will come in the next video. This is about travel. So I wanted to give you a quick rundown of everything I thought about the trip and some tips for going on a Contiki. This is my second Contiki. I've done obviously this one, which was on a bus trip. My first one was back in 2018 and I did some sailing for a week around Greece. So I've done 2 different styles, but still definitely done some Contikis enough that I'm like, oh, picking up small things. I haven't done 10 Contikis, but I've picked up some things that's definitely making me go, oh yeah, okay, this is what I need to remember if I'm going to book another one. I don't know if I'm going to book another one. I currently have no plans. That doesn't mean though that I'm not going to book one in the future. I just, at the moment, I've got other travel plans, which you will hear about later in the year. So definitely subscribe because you're going to find out. Anyway, so yeah, my Contiki trip was amazing. I loved it. I even had so much fun developing the videos and looking back at all the footage, and I was sending little clips to my little sister and I was like, look how funny this is, and do you remember this and stuff, and we were laughing about it. So it was really, really fun. I had an amazing trip. I also had a very exhausting trip. So the thing with the Contiki, with lots of Contikis, it is quite exhausting. You're doing a lot of fun activities, you're with people all the time, and sometimes there can be less downtime. With this trip especially, this Contiki Sweetest South in New Zealand, it was very much a high energy trip for me. You can make it low energy if you wanted to not choose many activities, but the whole premise that I chose this Contiki was to go do all the amazing things in New Zealand, to go do bungee jumping, to go do, what did I do? To go do jet boat rides. My little sister skydived. Those kind of adventure stuff. So it was definitely an adrenaline. Sorry if I keep touching my hair. It's a bad habit I'm trying to break. It was definitely an adventure-filled trip. So if you're booking any kind of Contiki trip, you really need to read up on about it, and I suggest researching it. I literally went on YouTube to see if anyone had information about this specific trip. There were a couple of videos, but nothing that was as in-depth as I would hope it would be. So I'm hoping if anyone is going to be looking at Contiki Sweetest South, come have a look at my videos, because I'm chatting about it and I've literally shown you so much of what we did. So which is what I enjoy. That's a part of the research that I enjoy. So knowing that it was going to be a lot of high energy, I was really excited, and that was what I planned for. I wanted to do all the adventure stuff. However, I came back from New Zealand to Australia and went to work 2 days later and was like, oh my gosh, I am very tired. And my holiday was amazing, but it wasn't like, I needed at least 2 more days just to like calm down from 2 weeks of adrenaline. It was crazy. So I definitely recommend that. Like, if you have the availability and can take a little bit more time off after your trip, definitely can recommend just to wind down before you have to go back to work. That's something probably I needed. And that's something I'm taking into consideration when booking my upcoming holiday. So that I definitely recommend. With my second tip, so that's tip number 1, taking consideration time after. These gonna be going all over the place. I haven't written any down. I'm just having a nice chat. My second tip is, what was my second tip? Don't go into this expecting everything will go to plan. It won't. I was very lucky. I think most of the things went to plan for me, but so on the website, they list everything that you can do, and you're like, great, I'm going to do all this. It's going to cost exactly this much, blah, 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 blah. when we got on the bus for the first time, I would have shown you in some of my past videos, there was a list, especially in the first video, there was a list of what we could do, and we had to tick off what we could do. Some things are being run on certain days, and some things cannot run at the same time. So there was only one horse riding trek. So if you wanted to go on the horse riding trek, but you also wanted to go on another activity, I didn't go on a horse riding trek. I have a phobia of horses, but this was just an example. If you wanted to go on that activity, but you wanted to go on this activity at the same time, you had to make a choice of like, okay, I don't get the best of both worlds. Some of the really big ones, multiple run, but that was a thing. And secondly, sometimes when you turn up, they're like, oh no, that's not available anymore. Or we actually, especially with the Franz Joseph scenic heli hike, so the flight into Franz Joseph Glacier via helicopter and then hike on the glacier, that had quite a few issues. Contiki, at least in New Zealand at the time that I went, was only have a certain number of seats for people to go up. Because the glacier in New Zealand is a heritage listed site, there are only so many people allowed to go on it each day to protect it. And that's something that's, this is something I was taught on the trip. That was instigated by the government. And so there's only certain seats that Contiki is allowed each time they come round to go up there. So some people, I'm lucky enough that I was able to go up. I think I would have burst into tears if I wasn't able to go up. Unfortunately, some people missed out, and that really sucks. So I think you should go into this going, yeah, I absolutely want to do this, but have some reservations or a bit of a check-in and be like, look, it potentially may not be possible. It's just that, you know, you never know what's going to happen. And it was really frustrating for a lot of the group, that because it was such a our team leader, she did so amazing, and props to her. She had such a hard time because almost the entire bus of like 50 people wanted to go on this flight, and they do not have enough seats for that. It was just really hard. So people ended up having to be drawn out of a hat of who got to go on that. So just when you're going on these kind of trips, definitely take into consideration that, like, look, I want to do all these, but if some of these don't happen, that's okay. You know, hopefully it's not the end of your trip. That some people, the people that didn't get to go on and do the helicopter flight and hike, went and just did a helicopter flight and landing. And to be honest, it looked amazing in their photos, and they got to go to, there was a bug, and they got to go to spots that we didn't go to, and they got to go walk like little like around their area, and it looked beautiful. And if anything, I kind of wish I would have chosen that. I loved the helicopter flight and hike, but it was over quite quickly. So specifically for this trip, I'm giving this advice. It was over quite quickly. It was cool, but we kind of just flew in, landed, did a little walk loop where they do every single time, and it was done. And I was kind of like, we were kind of like, oh, is that it? Like, there's no also like flying around. It was just like fly up, fly back, fly up, hike for a loop and fly back. There was no like additional like flying around, having a look. The others got to like fly over that glacier, fly to another glacier, the Fox Glacier, which was like covered in snow. So it looked amazing. So I think like, I'm still very grateful I got to do it and I loved it, but looking back, I don't think, hindsight is a beautiful thing. I don't think I would have been too mad if I had to have ended up going and doing the other one. Not the end of the world. So yeah, have those reservations and chats within yourself. I think we were quite, when we were planning it, we were quite set on the exact things that we wanted to do. And so have that open mind. Like, you know, if you budget, so yeah, tip 3 for budgeting for certain activities on a trip. Be open-minded. I highly recommend, if you have the ability, to save a little bit more, have a look at the exact activities you want to do. But if you can save more and be like, oh, I don't want to do any more activities, but when you get there, everyone's doing these really cool things, and you're like, actually, now that I'm here, that looks amazing. So Megan, my little sister, as I would have explained, she went and did skydiving. She was not meant to do skydiving in the first place. And this is where the horse trail came in. She was meant to go and do the horse trail, but something came up for her, and she couldn't go at the same time as another activity. And so our trip advisor was like, do you want to do something else? And got her into skydiving. So she did skydiving. She didn't like it. She was like, actually, I've done that. I'm never doing that again. But, you know, it's you have the availability to go and do different things. And because the price is obviously of a skydiving trip, can I call skydiving a trip? From, yeah, anyway, from the air to the ground. Because skydiving was a lot more expensive than horse trail, having a little bit of a backup saved in case the trip changed or something on the trip changed for you was really, really handy. So I can't remember if I did anything. I did do something extra. I did the jet boat riding extra. I didn't originally want to do the jet boat riding because I was like, oh, I've done that before when I was in New Zealand when I was like 12 and it was okay. It was just in a red boat, like I didn't love it. And then everyone was going on it and I was like, oh, maybe it was at the start of the trip and I was like, oh yeah, maybe I'll go on. It'll be good, you know, get to like to do something fun. Honestly, it was hands down my favorite thing. It was the best. Like I loved the bungee jump, I loved the canyoning, I loved loads of things, but the jet boat riding was the most fun. Like that was just so fun. It was so adrenaline filled and we were just being thrown around on the boat and we got off the boat at a beach after we were seeing the beautiful scenery that was filmed for Lord of the Rings. Even though I've never seen it, but I was just like, wow. We got off on this little island with a little beach and we were all like having drinks and playing together. And then we got back on the boats, we were racing each other. It was hands down the best. So honestly, it was crazy that something that I didn't plan to do, I was able to do because I set aside some backup budget and was able to have, like, had the best time and had my favorite activity. So highly recommend, plan for what you want to do, but if you can, have a little bit of a buffer in case anything changes. So that's my next tip. Another tip I recommend, because I went on my trip with my little sister, I'm quite close with my little sister, I'm close with my whole family, but specifically with my little sister on this trip, we were just going to be together the whole time. And we figured out when we got on the trip that each different place we went to, they recommended bunking in with different people. So you got to know different people. So that's what we did. We decided we know each other, we can sit next to each other on the bus if we want to, but to get to know other people and not just be stuck with each other for 2 whole weeks. Like I love her, but like I know both of us would have been like, if we're just us two for 2 weeks, we're gonna, and we did a couple of times be like nippy, but it's fine, we're sisters. Yeah, so I highly recommend, if you feel comfortable, if that's something you want to do, is bunking in with different people each time and getting to know them, because that it's such an easy way to meet people and to make friends. And I have now like still kept some of my friends from Contiki. I'm friends with all of them on Facebook and I've caught up with some of them and it's been so nice. And I honestly think if I had just been in a room with Megan, I would not have been able to make the connections that I did. So absolutely highly recommend that. My next tip would be, this is specifically speaking for the Contiki, for the New Zealand Sweeter South Contiki trip. I would pack about 70-30, 70 everyday active wear. You're going to be doing activities. But when we got to Queenstown, we were going out every night because we thought, oh yeah, there's only one night scheduled for going out to have a nice dinner, so we've got that planned. We got there and everyone's like, let's go out for dinner, let's go do this, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't have outfit, I just have active wear. I think I ended up going shopping and buying a little dress that I don't think I wore, but, which I've now cut and turned into a top, which is funny. But we were like, oh, and I was like, Megan, I'm gonna wear that of yours and you're gonna wear this of mine. We ended up trading clothes. Luckily I had her and we could trade clothes, but there was a lot more going out than I anticipated. I really anticipated this kind of trip to be more, we're just adrenaline focused, I'm gonna have a good time, but there was still some really nice going out nights. So yeah, 70-30, have a bit more. I was probably not so much that. I wish I'd had at least 2 more nice going out outfits, I think, yeah. So I highly recommend that, especially because when I went, it was New Year's as well. So I had really planned for I'd only planned for a nice dinner and like my New Year's outfit that you saw with my Zara top with the gold. But yeah, definitely pack a bit more. My next tip would be with Contikis, there were 50 people on my Contiki. You're not going to get along with everyone. I didn't have I didn't have any specific problems with anyone. I didn't, you know, but it was just kind of like, there was a little bit of drama. I wasn't involved with it, thank God. I was more like the mum of the group. But it's kind of expected with 50 people that I've never met that have completely different personalities, that some people are going to clash. Some people unfortunately did clash. And you just got to ride the wave, and you got to go, hey, I'm never going to see you again. I'm just not going to hang out with you or hang near you anymore. So don't expect to be going in like I'm going to be best friends with everyone. I think go in being like, okay, everyone's paid for this. Everyone's trying to have a nice holiday, and just go with the flow. And if you want to go off and do your own thing, go do that. But ultimately, it's like, it's everyone's holiday. Like, everyone's trying to have a good time. And if you're going to ruin someone else's time, like, don't be around other people. Just everyone be nice. Like, all in all, it was an amazing trip and everyone was so much fun. But unfortunately, yeah, there was just a couple of people that some people were like, actually, you're not a very nice person, and you can go, yeah, we're not going to hang out with you. So this is my next tip. And I think I could come up with a million more tips, but unfortunately I didn't write any down. I was like, we're going to do this ad hoc because the sun is going down and I wanted to get this video out. Is pack a neck pillow. I don't normally fall asleep on public transport or on transport at all. My little sister Megan, she'll fall asleep on any moving vehicle very fast. But I did fall asleep because you're doing adrenaline so much. Wee, hello. Let's not flash everybody. You are traveling such long days. Like, there were some days we were like driving for 5 hours and I was like, I'm so tired. And having to fall asleep with nothing to hold your head up and you're just in a seat. I ended up falling asleep on people and that was cute and fine. But definitely pack a neck pillow. Like one of those like round pillows that you can like, how many times am I going to say like an arm? And now my brain is telling me say like an arm so you can get to the next sentence. Yeah, pack a neck pillow, one of those ones that goes around your neck, and you can like, when you're sleeping on a plane, you can get them at the airport, you can get them anywhere. I think I'd like to get this. There's a nice one from Mecca that's like silk, so it's like good for your hair. I'm definitely gonna get one because I kind of wish I had that. My neck, you get off the bus and you're like, oh, my neck hurts and now I need to go jump off a bridge. Yeah, so it was kind of crazy. And I would definitely get one for the plane trips. And soundproof headphones. Soundproof headphones are your saver. You are going on a plane where the flight in New Zealand was terrible. To New Zealand was terrible. There was 3 hours at midnight till we technically got there 3 hours later. So it was 3 a.m. Australia time, but it was like 5 a.m. New Zealand time. So by the time we got out of the airport, it was daylight and I was like, oh, I feel awful. I didn't get a wink of sleep on the plane because there was a baby crying, and because it was such a short flight, we didn't have a good plane. It was just like sardines. Like, and there's no other, like at the time of booking, there was no other options than a sardine seat. Like there was no gold class or business class going to New Zealand on a 3-hour flight. There was nothing like that. So it was just, you had to choose it too bad. If I had a neck pillow and soundproof headphones, that would have been amazing. Like, I think that honestly it wouldn't have solved the flight because nothing can stop my long legs being like, we need more space and we need to lie down. But yeah, I think soundproof headphones would have made it, and especially also made the trip. I think I had headphones, but you know, I was lucky enough that I didn't have anyone really snoring. But if you're a guy, I think naturally guys snore a bit more, I've found. So maybe definitely look at investing in some soundproof headphones. You're on a trip with people you don't know, so you don't know prepare. You don't know what to prepare for, so prepare for everything. Soundproof headphones, neck pillows, take a million tissues, take all the medicine that you potentially may need. I always take like eczema creams for my ears and stuff that I've spoken about before. Even when I don't have it, I'm just like, no, you never know when you're going to flare up. And especially on a holiday, sometimes I find on a holiday, because you're eating a holiday very differently, you're not in your normal, your body's not in its normal routine. Sometimes it goes, oh, I don't like this, we're not gonna have a fun time. So I kind of like to slightly over prepare in that sense. But yeah, that is my last little tip. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments if you have any further tips yourselves, or if you have any other experiences from a Contiki, I want to know. Also, if you have any Contiki trip recommendations, I potentially may go on another one in the future, but I'm excited to share probably a little bit closer to the time where I'm going this year, which is a much bigger holiday. Woo! Anyway, I love you all. I will share this video and then I will share my birthday video with you next week. All right, I will see you then. Bye.